Guys, Andrew Goodguy here. Welcome back to more dreams, and today I'm going to finally work on the game. I made 2 levels of it, so I'm going to try make the fighting techniques today. Oh well, I do know how to make actions and stuff because I do the tutorials. But, like, I forget how to do it again. But there's one move. Here, actually, you know what? I'll just look through it again and see how to do it. Probably not. So, I get a cuff bird. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I have to. Anyways, I wanna do it. Well, I do get cuff bird if I do this. Alright. Oh well, I can just save it and post it online, see if it gets bad reviews, happy boy, and then get Cuthbert. Because Cuthbert likes my projects, good or bad. He even like Shrek the Third. No, just imagine Cuthbert in real life. Oh, me like Shrek the Third. The entire internet. Literally nothing. But just Peppa being an Irish hole. Alright. I have no idea what I'm saying that. Save. Save for this online. I'm gonna say but. Alright, ma'am, where is my Cuthbert? Alright, so here are the 2 levels that I made for Andrew. This was the first demo, and this was the second. This is a level concept. I could show you the gameplay demo. Alright, here we go, guys. First ever look at gameplay demo for Andrew. It looks stupid, I know. It took me so long to get Andrew made because the eyes and the hair were stupido. Oh yeah, and don't mind the Crash Bandicoot music. I actually have a theme for him made on my iPad. I know this game looks absolutely shitty, as you can see. This will be a proper game soon. I just need to work on it. The character design did change though, one of the demos. If you have dreams, you can just mess around in Candy Village. Do shenanigans. Whee! How do did I die? I just fell to the ground. When this game is coming out, I'm gonna have a huge stream. Oh my god, look how shitty this game is. Like, I do like the game style. I just need to improve it though, that's the one thing I want to do. You're just there like, what? Yeah, so what you could do is do normal shenanigans and shit. Like, look at this. Woo! I'm going to jump on this house and jump on this candy cane tree. I mean, candy floss tree. And I'm gonna do this sick parkour, which I keep failing at. Yay, I failed. But there will be some fighting elements in this game. Like Crash Bandicoot's spin attack. What the fuck? What the hell? Oh my god, I just keep doing these stupid things. Oh yeah, as you notice, I'm starting to swear a bit because I don't want YouTube thinking I'm lying. I make content for children, which I don't. Like, this game won't be just a kid's game. It will be a game for adults, like Markiplier and shit. I'm going into the house. Oh my god, this house is crappy. I'm walking out. Alright, I'm not spoiling the rest. Alright, so right now I'm gonna try and make Andrew's attack. Oh, I got apple. I kinda like this imp. Oh yeah, let's go into here. Right, so the first part I want to do, like I've done this already, but I want to redo it so I can remember how to do the attack bit.
To prevent the force supplier from pushing Connie off the platforms, we're going to use labels. Labels can be given to any object in the scene, and gadgets like the force supplier can detect them. In the force supplier tweak menu, go to the Labels tab. By default, it will detect all labels.
What? I just died.
All sorts of objects. Foes, scenery, targets. The friend label is used for playable characters like Connie or friendly characters like Cuthbert. So if we deselect it, the force supplier will no longer affect Connie. Hover over the friend button and press X to deselect it. It's the button with the heart icon.
You just smile.
It's a stormy day in the Dreamiverse. At least, it sounded like it was. Oh, there it is. When sound effects don't tally with what's happening in the scene, it can lead to all sorts of confusion. So in this tutorial, we'll use timelines to synchronize sound effects with animations. I've also got some cool techniques to show you that'll take your audio design to the next level. As always,
Oh, for God's sake!
ahead of Connie are a few obstacles for her to cross. But first, take a look at the timeline in front of Connie. It's called Block Collapse Cutscene. I wonder what could be in it. Open it up with L1 and X and let's see. When you hover your imp over a timeline canvas, play and rewind buttons will pop out underneath it. These are the timeline preview controls. Using these buttons, we can play just the animations and sounds on the timeline. The rest of the scene will stay paused and no logic will activate. Try it out. Select the Play Timeline Preview button with X. The timeline contains an animation for the block falling over. But there's no sound effects to go with it. Easily fixed. But first you'll need to switch to sound mode. Go to the assembly menu, then select Modes. Select the speaker icon to switch to sound mode.
I know what to do, lady.
In the next step, we'll add some sound effects to the falling block. To add sound effects to the scene, we need to search the Dreamiverse. Go to the sound menu, then select the button with the magnifying glass icon. In sound mode, the search button has some extra options for searching specific types of sounds. Select Search Sound Effects. I've made a collection of sounds for you to use in this tutorial, but you'll find lots more in the Dreamiverse. I've arranged these sound effects by type. Use the right stick to zoom in and the left stick to move around the collection. Find a creaking or rumbling sound that suggests the falling block. How about metal sheet groaning? Select a sound with X. Then hover over the timeline canvas and press X to stamp the sound. Use the Play Timeline Preview button to see the animation with the sound effect. Much better. The sound started a bit too soon though, so I'll just move it a little to the right. Remember, softly pressing R2 lets you nudge. This is really useful when you want to be precise. You might also want to trim the sound.
Well, I think I did this already. Let's see. Aha! I did that perfectly. Oh, perfection. I did that perfectly.
So that it doesn't...
Perfection.
Now, let's find an almighty thud for when the blocks collide. Go back to the sound menu and select Search Sound Effect. Alright, game. You can give me one more, and then I can continue on. Oh yeah, I forgot actually. Oh, what next? Yupda! She's gone to get stuff in Tesco, I think. I think she went to Tesco. Yeah, I don't know. Ah, yes. Upstairs!
This will probably do it. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, I did that perfection. Perfection. Could somebody please talk to me? I'm sad. YouTube. This is YouTube's fault for not letting me have so much friends.
Impacts. Select curve. L1. There's previewing the timeline in edit mode only played the animation and sounds, but in play mode, the camera and camera shaker also activate. Now the block falls with real drama. When you're ready to continue, go back to edit mode and start the next step.
Yes, madame.
The sound effects have really enhanced the platform animation. But this scene is big and open, whereas the sounds are flat and clean. To make them fit in this infinite space, we need to give the sounds some presence. One of the ways to do this is to add reverb to the sounds. Reverb is an echoey effect, like you'd hear if you shouted in a big empty space. You can add reverb to your sounds by tweaking them. First, select both the sounds on the timeline with X. Now tweak one of the sounds with L1 and the square button. That's a lot of options. Sound tweak menus are loaded with built-in effects and features. The tab we need is Sound FX. Its icon is a fuzzy sound wave. On this page, you'll find sliders for delay and reverb effects. Try increasing reverb to 40 or 50%. Then hit Play Timeline Preview to hear the difference. The sound is now much bigger and more spacious. The reverb has been applied to both sounds, even though we only tweaked one of them. That's because when you select multiple gadgets of the same type, you can tweak them all at once. A very neat trick you can use on all gadgets, not just sounds. Under the reverb slider, there are 4 available channels. Each channel has a different audio quality.
And they hate you.
Designed for music, and C and D are designed for game sounds like sound effects and voices. Helpfully, all the sound effects from the Media Molecule sound effect collections are set to channel C by default. I think this cutscene is now finished. Close the tweak menu and timeline using L1 and circle.
It's about time.
Then when you're ready, move on to the next step.
We're finished in this area. See? This bit is quick.
Connie's next crossing is 2 rising platforms. See the timeline called Rising Platforms cutscene? Open it up with L1 and X. Select Play Timeline Preview to see the animation in action. Ah, this animation already has sound effects. It sounds okay, but it's very simple. Just one looping sound for each platform. Think about how machines and mechanisms sound. As well as having a constant working sound, they also make other sounds as they start up, slow down, or stop. Layering some of these extra sounds will create a richer audio.
Let me guess, you're gonna ask me to add more?
First, we have to switch back to sound mode using the modes menu. Go to the sound menu, then select Search Sound Effects.
Yep.
This cluster of sound effects are all mechanical sounds. Pick one to be the start sound for the platform. I've chosen Weighted Metal Mechanism. Stamp the sound at the start or just before the animation for the first platform. Now use Play Timeline Preview to hear how it sounds. The first platform sounded so much better, didn't it? Use L1 and R2 to clone the start sound over to the second platform animation. Then when you're ready, move on to the next step. Now let's add some clicks and clunks for when the platforms stop and lock into place. Go back into the tutorial collection and listen to some of these stop sounds. Pick one that goes with the other sounds you've used. This heavy-sprung metal stop should sound good with the sounds on my timeline. Stamp the stop sound at the end of the first keyframe animation, then clone it to the second animation. Pay attention to the sound wave on the gadget to see where the loud and quiet parts of the sounds are. Line up the loudest part of the sound with the point where the platforms stop moving. Now use Play Timeline Preview to hear how it sounds. Just by adding 2 extra sounds, the platform sounds so much more convincing. The loops sounds start and stop rather abruptly, though. Try smoothing them out using their trim and fade handles. Once you've finished creating your layered timeline, connect it to the button on the platform so Connie can activate it. Create a wire from the output port of the node called Button Activated. Connect the wire to the power port on the bottom of the timeline. You could also add some reverb, like we did with the falling block. Rewatch the previous step if you need a reminder of how to do it. You can access all the previous steps by selecting View Step Instructions on the video player. Then try it out in play mode.
Yes, madame.
Return to edit mode and start the next step when you're ready to continue.
Alright, let's try it out. Yes. Cuthbert, shut the hell up. That's what I'd probably say.
It's pretty miserable weather we're having today. But in the Dreamiverse, that can be changed with the press of a button. If we're gonna bring the sun out though, it's got to sound sunny too. Above the platform, there's a microchip named Ambience. Open it with L1 and X. There's a bit of logic set up here, but you'll need to finish it off. There's a couple of sound effects on the right-hand side of the microchip canvas. Jungle Evening and Heavy Rain. Those are the sound effects you can hear in the scene. Before we get into any logic, let's get some more ambient sound effects from the tutorial collection. First, we need to switch back to sound mode using the modes menu.
Oh,
Go to the sound menu, then select Search Sound Effects. This cluster of sounds are all good weather ambience. I'm choosing Sunny Day.
yeah, me too, because I'm lazy.
Stamp it on the microchip, then click R3 to play the scene. The Sunny Day sound effect is playing at the same time as the rainy sounds. This will just confuse Cuthbert even more. We need a way to switch between the sounds, and I think a selector will be just the ticket. Click R3 again to pause the scene. The selector is found in the Gadgets menu, so you'll need to exit sound mode. Either use the exit button in the top right, or L1 and circle to return to assembly mode. Now go to the assembly menu and select Gadgets. Open up the Logic and Processing section, then find the selector. Once you've got it, select it with X and stamp one on the left of the microchip canvas. Then
There you
unclip
go.
the gadget with circle. In the next step, we'll look at the logic and connect up the selector.
Oh, please, somebody, please set my stream. Do not leave me. I'm
So
just
let's look at
sad.
the logic in this microchip. This active counter is being used to power the rain sounds and effects, which are all connected via this node. Counters are often used for setting states in logic. Try out the wiring and logic tutorial if you want to know more about using them. But as we now have a selector on the microchip, we can use that to set the state of the weather instead.
Cool.
On the selector, there are A and B inputs and outputs.
A and B,
output of the
yeah.
selector is active by default, so we'll use this to power the rainy state. Create a wire from the A output of the selector using R2 or X.
R2 or X, or else we will beat
Extend it
your
over to the
ass.
node called rain and connect it to the input.
If you do not
Now that the
do
rain is
this,
connected to the
we will beat
selector,
your
we
ass.
can delete the counter.
Medium monocle.
Next, create a wire from the B output and
And
drag
eat
over
it.
to the sunny day sound effect. Connect it to the power port using R2 or X. If you want to create a layered daytime ambience, just connect more sound effects to the B output of the selector. Now we have two states for the selector. We just need to be able to switch between them. On the button on the platform, there's a node called Button Activated. Create a wire from the output port of Button Activated. Then stretch it up to the microchip
What?
and activate button on the
I'm confused.
selector. We can delete the counter. Next, create a wire from the B output and drag it over to the sunny day sound effect. Connect it to the power port using R2 or X. If you want to create a layered daytime ambience, just connect more sound effects to the B output of the selector. Now we have two states for the selector. We just need to be able to switch between them. On the button on the platform, there's a node called Button Activated. Create a wire from the output port of Button Activated. Then stretch it up to the microchip and connect it to the B input on the selector. Now, when Connie stands on the button, it will be the selector and activated. Button on the platform, there's a node called Button Activated. Create a wire from the output port of Button Activated. Then stretch it up to the microchip and connect it to the B input on the selector. Now, when Connie stands on the button, the B output of the selector will be activated, the rain effects will stop, and the sunny day sound will start playing. But don't just take my word for it. Give it a try.
Yeah, I know play mode.
Glorious! Hopefully that'll help Cuthbert dry out. Using selectors to change state is a really useful technique.
I think I screwed
You
up.
can use in all sorts of ways.
I'm gonna
Selectors and
re-listen to
exclusive
that.
But we can delete the counter. Next, create a wire from the B output and drag it over to the sunny day sound effect. Connect it to the power port using R2 or X. If you want to create a layered daytime ambience, just connect more sound effect and drag it over to the sunny day sound effect.
That's what I
Connect
did.
it to the power port using R2 or X. If you want to create a layered daytime ambience, just connect more sound effects to the B output of the selector. Now we have 2 states for the selector. We just need to be able to switch between them. On the button on the platform, there's a node called Button Activated. Create a wire from the output port of Button Activated. Then stretch it up to the microchip and connect it to the B input on the selector. Now, when Connie stands on the button, the B output of the selector will be activated, the rain effects will stop, and the sunny day sound will start playing. But don't just take my word for it. Give it a try in play mode. Glorious! Hopefully that'll help Cuthbert dry out.
Oh, I'm confused.
Using selectors to change
Did she say
states is a
input or
really
output?
useful
Oh, I have
technique.
a look closely.
Will be activated in the selector. Now, when Connie stands on the button,
I knew it. But why can't I do it though? Oh, that's why. I'll just make a new wire. Alright, this will work now. Person on stream, please say hi. Yay! It works. I was so stupid. As I'll just do. Oh wait.
using selectors to change states is a really useful technique that you can use in all sorts of ways.
You could eat them.
You could trigger a transition from indoors to outdoors, or switch between reverb settings. You can learn more about using the selector in our Selectors and Exclusive Gates tutorial. You can find it in the Logic section. We've created a tranquil, sunny day ambience, but as always, we can make it even better. So return to edit mode and start the next step when you're ready.
I'm freaking ready.
You might have noticed the transition between the rainy and sunny day ambience was a little abrupt. The rain sound just stops instantly and the sunny one starts too suddenly. If the sounds were on a timeline, we could use trim and fade handles to blend them together.
Oh, for God's
But
sake.
as they aren't, it gives me the opportunity to show you the volume ADSR.
Why do we have to do
Sounds
more?
really technical, doesn't it? Well, it is a bit, but don't worry. It's also a lot simpler than it sounds. Go back to the ambience microchip and select all the sound gadgets, the rainy ones and the sunny ones. Now tweak one of the gadgets with L1 and square. Remember, selecting a bunch of gadgets of the same type lets us tweak them all at once. On the first page of the tweak menu, you'll see a graphic tweak. This is the volume ADSR, which stands for Attack, Decay, Sustain, Release. The graph is made of 4 connected lines with grabbable points joining them together. The first line is attack.
She's not
which is
wrong
the
with
fade
her.
in. You can extend the attack by grabbing the second point on the graph. The second line is the decay. This fades the volume down and can be adjusted by grabbing the third point. The third line is sustain. This is a period of constant volume. Finally, the release, which fades out the sound completely. To blend the sound smoothly, use the volume ADSR graph to add a long attack and long release. This will make the volume fade in and fade out more slowly, so the sounds blend together. Use X to grab and drag the first part of the graph to the right. Then do the same to the last part. You want your ADSR to look like a trapezoid. And that's all there is to it. Close the tweak menu with L1 and circle. Now rewind time and try it in play mode again.
Good.
Pay attention to the transition of the sounds and listen to how the rain sounds fade out slowly as the sunny day sounds fade in. We're almost done now, so return to edit mode and start the last step when you're ready to continue.
You know I'm ready to continue.
The scene sounds fantastic now and is full of rich, dynamic sounds. I think you're ready to make your own scenes and creations sound alive. But there's one more gap for Connie to cross. Above the gap, you'll find a timeline gadget. Open it up with L1 and X. Select Play Timeline Preview to see the animation in action. Perfect! Just what Connie needs to get across. See if you can use what you've learned in this tutorial to add some vibrant sound effects to this animation. Maybe some whirring cogs and some ka-clunks for when they jolt into action. And then add some reverb to the sounds so they fit in this vast space.
Nah, just use random sound effects. I'll just use... Yeah, I know what I'm gonna use. Where is it?
When you're ready to complete the tutorial, connect up the timeline to the button activated node on the platform. Then give your completed scene one last go in play mode. As always, take Connie into the elevator to complete the tutorial.
Oh, I think that's what you do with it. Oh yeah, oh, I'll do it again. Aha!
Howdy, partner. Cuthbert's always wanted to be a star, so I've cast him and Connie in a drama set in the Wild West of the Dreamiverse. But this scene needs a director, and I thought you would be the perfect person for the job. We're gonna use cameras and text gadgets to tell the story of how Deputy Connie apprehended Cuthbert the candy thief.
Yeah.
But you won't get far without a camera, so I'll better show you where to get one. Open the assembly menu with the square button, then select Gadgets.
I knew it would be gadgets.
Close any open sub-menus with circle, then open the cameras and lighting section. Find the camera, The icon is an old-fashioned movie camera. Select it with X. This camera is going to capture our opening shot. See how the gadget has a little camera gizmo attached to it? Point it roughly at Connie, then stamp one with X. Once you've stamped one, unequip the gadget by pressing circle. Before we look at the framing, there's a few things we can tweak on the camera that'll help us achieve a cinematic look.
Yeah? What is it?
Hover your imp over the camera,
Like,
then
I
open
know,
its
like,
tweak
what
menu
type?
with L1 and square.
Oh yeah, where are they? Alright. Get it ready. Right, let's get back to this.
Transition type settings let you change how cameras activate. By choosing different curves and adjusting the transition time slider, you can blend cameras together. But for a dramatic scene like this one, we'll be using the cut transition. It's the button with the scissors icon. The cut transition is instant, so there's no need to set a time for the transition. Below the transitions is the field of view slider. The wider the field of view, the more you'll be able to see with the camera. You can leave it set to its default value for now, but you might want to make adjustments later. Finally, we're going to turn on black bars. It's the button at the bottom. This will put a letterbox on the camera to give it a widescreen look. Move on to the next step and we'll look at framing the camera. Right, let's frame the shot properly. Cameras only activate in play mode and test mode. But we can preview and edit the framing with a simple shortcut. Hover over the camera gadget, then hold L1 and press X. It's just like scoping in. We're now looking through the lens of the camera. But not just looking, we can also edit the camera's position just by using the normal movement controls. If your camera's a little wonky, it's no problem. It'll automatically level itself out if you move it with the left or right sticks. Isn't that clever? Position the camera with Connie and Cuthbert at either side of the frame for their confrontation. Here's another tip for editing cameras. You can use the up and down directional buttons to change the field of view. And you can still use the tweak menu while editing the camera, so you can see the effect of the changes you make.
Not bad.
Once your shot is perfectly framed, use the shortcut L1 and circle to exit the camera. We've set the scene. Now it's time for the drama to play out. Move on to the next step when you're ready to start telling the story.
Where's that other camera I placed? It's probably gone. Let's see how it works.
The simplest way to show text on screen is to use a text displayer. Open the assembly menu
I knew it.
Gadgets.
I knew I was coming.
In the movers and outputs section, you'll find a handful of gadgets for displaying text and numbers. The icon for the text displayer is 2 speech bubbles on a screen. Select it with X and stamp one in the scene, then unequip the gadget. A text displayer is pretty useless without text, so let's add some. Open the text displayer tweak menu with L1 and square. On the first page of the tweak menu is a box to enter text. This is going to be Connie's opening line of the scene. Connie has come to Cuthbert's hut to confront him about the stolen candy, so make the line challenging and dramatic. I'll give you a moment to think about Connie's line.
I know what I'm gonna say. Connie the asshole says that the dumbass Cuthbert took the candy even though he did not. That's what I'm gonna say. Connie was being a bitch. I guess was being a B word because she wanted Cuthbert to get arrested. Oh, this is gonna be funny. Cuthbert. Be arrested for no reason. Rango will arrest her. Yeah, Rango will arrest her. Arrest her soon. Connie, because Hollywood ran out of ideas. Oh my god, this is amazing. Alright, what's next?
We now have a dramatic opening line, but it doesn't look very good yet. Text always displays middle left on the screen, but while the tweak menu is open, we can grab and move it with R2. By default, the text is pinned to the screen, no matter where the gadget is. You can resize the text with the up and down directional buttons. Move it to the right side of the screen so it's on the same side as Connie on camera. Now let's tweak how the text looks. The first page of the tweak menu has options for changing the appearance of the text. Let's see if there's a more appropriate font. Scroll through the list using the up and down directional buttons.
This is the greatest thing I have ever made.
On page 2 of the tweak menu, you can change how the box looks. Find the option for tail shape. Adding a tail will turn the box into a speech bubble. There's a few different tails to choose from. How about zigzag to make it look like Connie's shouting?
No, this is not done. There's one last thing. You know, I'm adding another one. And this is where she says, Cuthbert, I freaking hate you. You are an asshole, Cuthbert. And then Cuthbert saying, you mean person, I want to attack you. Oh, this is gonna be the most funniest thing I have ever done in my life. Let's see. Cuthbert, get your ass out here. Yeah. Cuthbert. 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 I want to arrest you. I want to arrest you because you're dumb. I want to arrest you because you are dumb as sh. And then it has censored. You're dumb as sh. You're dumb as sh. This is the greatest thing I've ever made. Yes, that's perfect font. Oh my god, if this is going to be funny, I'm gonna wet myself laughing. Alright. Yes. Cuthbert, get your ass out here. I want to arrest you because you're dumbish. And Cuthbert is gonna say, oh, I'm actually gonna do that. Cuthbert, I want to arrest you because you dumbish. Yes. Then I have Cuthbert saying, Rango, Connie's being mean to me. Then at the side, Rango says, Connie, you are dumb as sh. You're going to be arrested. Rango. Connie's being an asshole. Yeah. Or Connie's being mean. Connie's threatening me. Yeah, I'm gonna say threatening me. Arrest her, please. This is dumb. Yes. Rango! Connie's threatening me, arrest him, please. Then Rango's gonna say, oh, I'll beat your ass. This is dramatic, definitely. It's also one of the most amazing things in cinema. I'm gonna have this really cramped in to make it stupid as hell. Yeah, I'm gonna make this the most stupidest thing I've ever made. And I'm gonna put it right. I'm gonna put it right here. Connie was being a B-word. Even though Connie is funny, like I do like Connie, I just love what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm not being rude to Connie, obviously. PlayStation, do not give out hell to me if I do this. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect for the shot. Dumb as sh- Oh, wait. Let's see what the camera's like. Durango says, "Me will attack you." Yeah, that's what he's gonna say. "Me will attack you." That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say, "Me will attack you." No, Rango will attack you. Rango's coming to whoop her ass. Rango's coming to whoop her ass. This is gonna be really funny. No, I might actually make this into an animated video. Your ass, Connie. Rango's coming to whoop your ass, Connie. It is whoop. I keep them ass whoop. Super chain, chain. Keep them. Ha. Rango's gonna whoop your ass. Oh, this is gonna be funny.
A positional gizmo appears with the tail, so you can change the length and direction of it.
You can actually do that?
That looks about right.
Hell
There's
yeah.
plenty more options for customizing the text displayer. Take a look through the rest of the menu and try them out.
I'm gonna have comfort happy.
On the text box properties page, you can make the box more rounded or change its color. The border properties page lets you change the look of the border or get rid of it completely. You can add a fleck texture to the text box using the option on the texture properties page.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm fine with this.
When you like how your text looks, close the tweak menu, then give it a test in play mode.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Cuthbert, I want to arrest you because you dumb as shit.
Right here. Ah, my camera's too close to Connie, so when she's possessed, the view switches to the camera built into her controller sensor. I don't want to change the position of the camera, so it needs to be put on a timeline. When you're ready to continue, return to edit mode, rewind time with L3, and start the next step.
No, this is perfect. Mine's already done for me, the looks of it. Alright, let's try it again. Oh, hell yeah. Cuthbert, I want to arrest you because you dumb as shit. Rango, Connie's threatening me. Arrest her, please. Rango's coming to whoop your ass, Connie. Oh, this is funny. This is true comedy.
We have a scene. Up to the camera and lengthen cameras miss the time. But I think the... Wow, what a cliffhanger.
What?
We now have a dramatic opening line on we have an establishing camera and a dramatic opening line. Now we need to incorporate them into the rest of the scene. On Cuthbert's shed, you'll see there's a timeline surface snapped above the door. The timeline is called Confrontation Cutscene. It contains some more cameras and text displayers. Take a look at the timeline canvas.
I know what I'm gonna say at the end. Oh shit.
Ah, there's a nice little space here for your camera and text displayer to go. Grab your camera in the scene with R2 and drag it over onto the timeline. Don't worry about messing up the shot. The camera gadget will snap to the timeline, but leave the gizmo in position. Now place Connie's text underneath the camera, so they're active at the same time. The time our camera and text displayer are visible is determined to the time and drag it over onto the timeline. Don't worry about messing up the shot. The camera gadget will snap to the timeline, but leave the gizmo in position. Now place Connie's text underneath the camera, so they're active at the same time.
They're all active at the same time.
The time our camera and text displayer are visible is determined by their length on the timeline. So,
at the end, Connie's gonna say, oh shit, because she knows she's gonna get whooped.
So that it fills more of the timeline. Or you can lengthen or shorten the clip by grabbing the trim handle on the end of the gadget.
Actually, no, I'm gonna have them all played at the same time.
The cameras and text displayers will stay in place in the scene, even if you move the timeline. We can't test the timeline just yet, though, because it's powered off. To turn it on, just open its tweak menu with L1 and square. Select the power button at the bottom of the menu to activate it. Shall we take a look in play mode? Wow, what a cliffhanger.
No, I know what to say for this part.
Superb, but I think
I'm
the
gonna
cameras
say,
on the timeline
Connie,
could
you're
do with a
freaking screwed,
director's
right?
touch.
You're freaking screwed.
Return to edit mode,
Connie.
rewind time, and start the next step when you want to continue.
Connie, you're freaking screwed. That's what I'm gonna say. Screwed, girl. You're freaking screwed, girl. That's how it ends. And Connie says, oh shit. Yeah, Connie said, oh shit. Connie, you're screwed. You're Fortnite. You're freaking screwed. Screwed, girl. Why won't it work? I think I can edit it now. I think so. You screwed. Yeah, he's gonna say you're dead meat. You're screwed, girl. Then at the end she's gonna say, oh shit. What? Ah, there we go. Connie, you're screwed. Connie, you're... Ah, goddammit. Ah, no! Connie, you're screwed. You're freaking screwed, girl. Then she says, oh shit, at the end. Connie, 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 Connie. Jaws, but instead it's Connie. Yeah. Durango says, I'm gonna whoop that ass near the end. And here, he's gonna say, oh shit. Yeah, that's what she's gonna say at the end. Oh shit. And this time it's actually gonna be the word. It's self-centered. Oh, they said... They censored it! For... Then how do they have it in subtitles in the story mode? That's not fair. Oh sh... Yes. Yeah, it's fine now. What the... Ah, crap. How the hell did this become a groove? I'm gonna say, Connie, you're freaking screwed, girl. Yeah. Connie, you're freaking screwed, girl. Alright, let's try it out in play mode and see what it's like. Oh no, I got the problem.
That was a great opening, but I think we can improve some of the cameras.
Yeah.
Make sure you have the timeline open. We don't need to be able to see it, but the cameras will be hidden if it's closed. Fly over to Cuthbert and find the camera behind him. Open its tweak menu with L1 and square and move it to one side. We don't need to tweak anything just yet, but having it open will mean we can use it at the same time as editing the camera. Now scope into the camera with L1 to start editing it. When this camera is active, it's focused on Cuthbert, even though he's got his back to it. I think it would be better if Connie was in focus, and to do that, we need to adjust the focus distance and aperture. Try changing the aperture slider by grabbing it with X.
No, this is perfect.
The higher the aperture, the more blurry Connie becomes. But if you increase the focus distance, she'll come back into focus. At high aperture, only the parts
Now
of the
this
scene
is
that
fine.
near the camera's focus distance are sharp. With a low aperture, even objects in the far distance will be in focus. This effect is called depth of field. It's a nifty technique for drawing the eye of the viewer. We don't want to lose too much detail in the foreground though, so about 30% should be enough. Techniques like this can really help tell a story by directing the viewer's eye to the important parts of the scene. For some extra dramatic punch, you could create a keyframe animation to pull focus so it switches from Cuthbert to Connie. Take a look at how keyframes have been used on the timeline to create the dramatic zoom in on Connie with the
I
third
hope that's how
camera.
it ends.
You can learn about keyframe animations in the Keyframes and Timelines tutorial. Look for it in the animation section of the Dreams workshop. Move on to the next step when you're ready to get deeper with dialogue. Text displays are great for adding captions and titles, but for more complicated conversations, we need a more powerful gadget. Go to the Assembly menu and navigate back to the Movers and Outputs section of the Gadgets menu. In the menu, find the Dialogue text displayer. The icon is 2 connected speech bubbles. Select it with X, then stamp one into the scene. Unequip it from your imp, then open the Dialogue text displayer's tweak menu. The Dialogue text displayer is used to create branching conversations with multiple choice answers. The first page has exactly the same options as the regular old text displayer. To continue the story, give Cuthbert a menacing one-liner to challenge Connie's resolve. The Dialogue text displayer has all the same customization options as the regular
No,
text displayer.
hold on, wait. Fuck the tutorial for a second. I mean, screw the tutorial. No. I know what we can add to this character. I think you all know what I'm talking about. Oh, we can't do online shit. I know. I'm gonna make Rango by Scratch. This is gonna be too funny. Then this is his neck. This is my Rango. Look at my meat. He's like, oh yeah, it looks sexy. I'm gonna have him naked. Oh hell yeah. This is my Rango. I'm gonna draw the nostrils. And it's frown. It looks like a creeper. Alright. This is his pupil. Alright, now let's paint him. Just for cracks. This is gonna be the most stupidest thing I've ever made in my life. It's also gonna be my funniest. Oh wait, I forgot to do his tail. Ah, we need his tail. This is my fault. I need very tiny. I need Lango's tail, very tiny. And when I shoved up his butt, I'm just kidding, no. Oh hell yeah. Look at that thick tail. Alright, now to give him some makeover. Rango is now Johnny Depp's favorite guy. Alright, we need to paint him green. Alright, Alright, I'm gonna decorate this. Now just bare Rango. Yes, I made Rango. This is going to be funny. Alright. Wait. He's gonna be behind Poppy. You're not Poppy. His tail! His tail! I should make Rango huge. Bigger than Connie. Well, he is already, but I'm gonna make him... Yeah! This is the stupidest thing I've ever made. And his tail fell off. Oh my god, this is stupid. But it's funny at the same time. It's ridiculous. Dude, there's his tail, stuck in his head. Okay, now his tail looks like a big ol'...
Text displayers are great for adding captions and titles, but for more complicated conversations, we need a more powerful gadget. Go to the assembly menu and navigate back to the movers and outputs section of the gadgets menu. In the menu, find the dialogue text displayer. The icon is 2 connected speech bubbles. Select it with X, then stamp one into the scene. Unequip it from your imp, then open the dialogue text displayer's tweak menu. The dialogue text displayer is used to create branching conversations with multiple choice answers. The first page has exactly the same options as the regular old text displayer. To continue the story, give Cuthbert a menacing one-liner to challenge Connie's resolve. The dialogue text displayer has all the same customization options as the regular text displayer. So take some time to edit the appearance of the text. Just as with the standard text displayer, dialogue text is pinned to the screen by default and can be grabbed, moved and resized by the imp. If you want to use my script for the scene, you can find this dialogue gadget in the tutorial collection. When you've finished writing Cuthbert's dialogue, start the next step and we'll do Connie's replies.
I know what I'm gonna say for the next step. It's gonna be Rango talking. I'm here to beat your ass, and it ends.
Replies, there's a few other options I want to show you. Go to the settings page of the tweak menu. Select the button with the elephant icon. This will turn the dialogue into a big gadget. This means the text will be visible on the gadget tile. Now select the next tab, the one with the crossed circle icon. On this page, you can add an option to skip or close the dialogue. The circle button is the default for closing the dialogue text. You can show the prompt on screen by selecting the button with the open eye icon. Close prompts are useful if you don't want a multiple choice response, like at the end of a dialogue sequence. We want to give Connie some options though, so head to the dialogue properties page. Select the tab with the speech bubbles icon. Here we can create some dialogue options for Connie's comebacks. The different responses can be selected using the controller buttons shown on the left. If you use the same button for dialogue as you did for a close prompt, the dialogue will take priority. To keep things simple, we'll give Connie 2 dialogue options to choose from.
No, I'm gonna have 4.
Use the text boxes next to the X and circle button icons to give Connie 2 different responses to Cuthbert's
I'm gonna
challenge.
say, oh poop, all of them are
Use the
all
video
stupid
controls to
ones.
pause if you need time to write your dialogue.
For square I'm gonna say, meow.
Grab them with your imp to arrange them and resize them. When you've got the dialogue how you
Then the
want
next
it,
one is,
close the tweak menu
I don't
with
care
L1
about you,
circle,
Rango.
Then start the next step.
No. I am a good girl. A good girl. I'm a good girl. Oh,
The dialogue gadget now has some extra output ports for the 2 button options. Using these ports, we can turn our piece of dialogue into a branching conversation. But first, we'll need some more dialogue. On Cuthbert's shed, you'll find a microchip gadget. Open it up with L1 and X and take a look to see what's going on in there. Here's the rest of the script ready to go. The conversation has two branches. In one, Connie tries to arrest Cuthbert. In the other, she questions him about the stolen candy. Depending on the player's choices, they'll end up at one of these four endings. On the left of the microchip, I've left a little space for you to place your dialogue text display.
I know what I'm gonna do. Connie
This will be the
farts.
start of Connie and Cuthbert's confrontation. Grab your dialogue gadget with R2 and place it on the microchip. It'll automatically snap to the canvas. To progress the conversation, we need to connect the circle and X outputs to the rest of the dialogue.
Literally farts out of
Wire from
nowhere.
the circle output port of the dialogue gadget that you created.
I'm gonna say literally farts
Extend that
out of
wire
nowhere.
over to one of the next two dialogue
This
gadgets
is gonna be
and connect it to the
stupid,
start
like
text
funny
input.
stupid.
Now create a wire from the X output port and connect it to the other dialogue gadget.
See,
Branching dialogue logic can get messy, so using microchips
Rango
is
kills
essential if you
Connie.
want to keep a semblance of order to your scene. We now have a
Rango
complete
kills
dialogue
Connie
tree.
off screen.
In the next step, I'll show you how to connect a camera to the dialogue.
Off screen. Oh, this is gonna be stupid as hell. But it's gonna be
There's one more
good.
thing we need to connect to our dialogue. A camera. You'll find a spare one on the microchip, but you can edit it or add your own if you want to.
Rango kills Connie.
Tweak the first dialogue text displayer and go to the inputs and outputs page. Find the button with a waveform icon. This port is active whenever the text is on screen, which makes it perfect for triggering a camera. Create a wire from the text active output using R2 or X. Extend the wire over to the camera and connect it to the power port. The dialogue is ready to go. We just need to connect it up to the timeline so that it'll activate once the cutscene has finished. The confrontation cutscene has a wire connecting it to a counter gadget. This bit of logic takes the pulse signal from the timeline and turns it into a constant signal to power the microchip. You can learn more about this in the wiring and logic tutorial. To activate the microchip, create a wire from the counter full output on the counter and connect it to the power port of the microchip. Then switch over to play mode and test the dialogue. That started off well, but it never reached a satisfying conclusion. So often the way, isn't it? In the next step, I'll show you how you can end the scene with a bang.
I know how to end it with a bang. Rest in peace, Connie. And I was just kidding, no, that's just fine.
This showdown between Connie and Cuthbert needs a big finish.
An off-screen
On the
death.
right side of the microchip are two gadgets. One called Win and one called Lose. You can tell from this icon in the corner that they're both microchips. These microchips contain two cutscenes. One where Connie defeats Cuthbert and one where he sends her packing. Connie and Cuthbert's conversation has four possible conclusions. One will activate the Win ending, the other three will lead to the Lose ending.
The win will get
Let's
the
start
kill.
with the Win condition.
No.
Pick one of the dialogue conclusions. I'm using the one at the bottom. On the right
This
edge of
is
the
a
gadget,
freaking win.
you'll see a port with a square stop symbol icon. The port will send a signal when the dialogue text is finished. As there are no dialogue responses set up in these gadgets, they're finished using a close prompt instead. We'll use this port to activate the microchip. Create a wire on the text finished port, then extend it over to the win microchip. Connect the wire to the microchip's power port. Now
Then
do
the
the same with
lose.
the other 3 dialogue conclusions. Except this time, connect them to the power of the lose ending.
No, everything else is lose. But Rango kills Connie is a win-win.
The stage is now set. The actors are ready. All that's left to do is play the scene and watch the drama unfold. Rewind the scene with L3, then switch over to play mode and see if you and Connie can get the better of Cuthbert.
It's broken. Everything else is lose, but can it work now? That was stupid. I couldn't even get the whole thing, mate. It was fun making it, but it failed, fortunately.
Connie and Cuthbert are at the Dreamiverse racetrack. They're testing out a new Cuthbot model of my design. Looks like Connie's already got the hang of it. Give us a welly, Cuthbert. Oops, maybe not on second thoughts. Join me over in edit mode, and I'll show you how to make a vehicle of your own. To get this Cuthbot operational, you'll need to add a few gadgets. The first step to making something controllable is to add a controller sensor. The controller sensor is mostly used in puppets, but it can be used to control anything. This Cuthbot is made from sculptures and connectors that are grouped together, so we need to scope into the group before we can start editing it. Hover your imp over Cuthbot, hold L1 and press X. On the front of Cuthbot's chassis, you'll find a microchip. This is where we'll put all the gubbins to get Cuthbot moving. Scope into the microchip with L1 and X. It looks like we've got some work to do. There's only a health manager set up. The microchip is surface snapped to Cuthbot, so all the gadgets inside it will look like they're surface snapped too. A useful feature of microchips is that once you've opened them, they will stay open even if you scope out of the group they're in. However, if you close the microchip, you'll need to scope back into Cuthbot to open it up again. Start the next step, and we'll start building Cuthbot's controls. First on the agenda is to add a controller sensor. Then we'll be able to possess Cuthbot with the imp. Go to the assembly menu and select Gadgets.
Yeah.
The controller sensor is found in Sensors and Input. Its icon is a controller and some cogs. Select it with X and stamp one on the left side of the microchip canvas, just to the right of the Health Manager. The controller sensor will be powering all the other gadgets, and in Dreams, signals run from left to right. Since the Health Manager's right here, let's hook that up first. When the Health Manager has no health, the controller sensor should get a signal to die. It sounds rather grisly, but it just means Cuthbot will be able to respawn if you drive off the track. Position your view so you can see the ports on the Health Manager and controller sensor. Now create a wire from the no health output on the Health Manager. Connect it to the die input on the controller sensor. And done. Now, if Cuthbot has an off-road excursion, you'll be back on track in no time. When you're ready for some more tinkering, move on to the next step.
I hate the way you have to do steps.
Let's dig a little deeper into the controller sensor. Open the controller sensor's tweak menu using L1 and the square button. Head to the Important Properties page. All these settings are to do with your imp, as you could probably tell from my hilarious pun.
Ha ha ha, very funny.
At the bottom, there's some options for changing the possession visual. This is how your imp will appear when it's possessing this controller sensor. Cuthbot has a little cockpit for the imp on top of its chassis. So change the possession visual to visible, body on target. A round gizmo with a face has appeared on Cuthbot. Move the tweak menu to the side with R2 if it's in the way. This gizmo shows where the imp will appear and in which direction it will face when Cuthbot is possessed. Before we move it, go to the assembly menu and select Guides. Switch on Grid Snap and set the size to half. This will keep the imp gizmo oriented properly. Grab the gizmo with R2 and line it up in the cockpit on top of Cuthbot. Now, grab the gizmo with R2 and line it up in the cockpit on top of Cuthbot. Now we have a driver. Let's see how it looks. Close the tweak menu with L1 and circle, then switch over to play mode in the options menu. Possess Cuthbot with R2. Hooray! You've given Cuthbot life. But this is just the start. When you're ready to add more, go back to edit mode, rewind with L3, and start the next step.
Ah. Alright. Oh my god, is Cuthbert still sad? Oh my god, Cuthbert, stop being an asshole,
When you were in
Cuthbert.
play mode, you might have noticed that Cuthbot's body tilted over. That's because it's movable, and when objects are made movable, they're affected by the physical forces in the scene. So before we get Cuthbot moving, we need to add some stabilization. A gyroscope is the perfect gadget for this. It's used to keep objects upright. Go to the assembly menu and select Gadgets.
I freaking know.
Close the Sensors and Input menu with Circle, then open Movers and Output. Look for the gyroscope icon in the menu. Select it with X and stamp one onto the microchip canvas. The gyroscope doesn't need to be connected to any other gadgets. It just has to be attached to the object you wanted to stabilize. Unequip the gadget by pressing the circle button. Now open the gyroscope tweak menu. In the tweak menu, look for the slider with the beefy arm icon. This is the gyroscope's strength. The stronger the gyroscope is, the more easily it'll overcome.
Please,
forces in the
somebody
scene.
talk to me. I'm sad.
Drag it all the way up to 100%. That'll keep Cuffbot perfectly balanced.
That's all things should
To
be.
keep Cuffbot upright, the gyroscope needs to know which direction is up. That's what this arrow gizmo on Cuffbot is for. By grabbing and moving the arrow, you can change the orientation of the gyroscope. It looks perfect as it is. So close the tweak menu, then click R3 to check the gyroscope is working. Solid as a rock. When you're ready to get motoring, rewind with L3 and start the next step.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Ah, there. Now just imagine driving like that. Wait a second, where the hell is the driver? Youpla! Is he okay, Sonic? I don't know. Looks like he's gotta go fast. Good pun, Sonic. Good pun. That's what I'd probably say. Don't like it there. Looks good. Oh well, let me try possess it. Yes, perfection. I do not touch him.
Right then, let's get Cuffbot moving. For that, we'll need a mover. If you've closed Cuffbot's microchip, scope back in and open it up again with L1 and X. Go to the assembly menu, then select Gadgets. In the Movers and Output menu, see if you can find the mover. Its icon is a box and an arrow. Select it with X. Stamp a mover on the right side of the microchip, then unequip the gadget with Circle. As the microchip is surface snapped to Cuffbot, anything on its canvas will also behave like it's surface snapped. This also means that moving the microchip will affect the position and behaviour of all the gadgets inside, so make sure it's positioned where you want it before tweaking the mover. Now select the mover with X. Selecting a gadget, or opening its tweak menu, reveals its gizmos. If any other gadgets have their gizmos visible, just close their tweak menus or deselect them with X. The mover gizmo shows which direction it defines as forwards. So at the moment, the mover's gizmo is pointing in the wrong direction for Cuthbot. Before moving the gizmo, make sure you still have Grid Snap activated in the Guides menu. Then grab the mover's arrow gizmo and point it in the direction you want Cuthbot to move. You can use gizmos without Grid Snap, but it's tricky to get them lined up exactly. Now click R3 and Cuthbot should move in the direction of the arrow. I don't think we'll be setting any Dreamiverse speed records, but we're on the right track. Click L3 to rewind the scene, then start the next step when you're ready. Now we've got Cuthbot moving, let's see how we can control it. We'll walk inside. Selecting a gadget or opening its tweak menu reveals its gizmos. If any other gadgets have their gizmos visible, just close their tweak menus or deselect them with X. The mover gizmo shows which direction it defines as forwards. So at the moment, the mover's gizmo is pointing in the wrong direction for Cuthbot. Before moving the gizmo, make sure you still have Grid Snap activated in the Guides menu. Then grab the mover's arrow gizmo and point it in the direction you want Cuthbot to move. You can use gizmos without Grid Snap, but it's tricky to get them lined up exactly. Now click R3 and Cuthbot should move in the direction of the arrow. I don't think we'll be setting any Dreamiverse speed records, but we're on the right track. Click L3 to rewind the scene, then start the direction app, but it's tricky to get them lined up exactly. Now click R3 and Cuthbot should move in the direction of the arrow. I don't think we'll be setting any Dreamiverse speed records, but we're on the right track. Click L3 to rewind the scene, then start the next step when you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. That's one Andrew's voice. He says man and ma'am.
Let's see how we
Difficult
can
to see what he says.
We'll start by connecting the mover to the controller sensor. The port we need isn't available on the outside of the gadget, so open up the controller sensor's tweak menu with L1 and square. By default, tweak menus are pinned to the screen. But if you want to arrange them in the scene space, just deselect the Pin to Screen option at the top of the tweak menu. You can also save the position of tweak menus, so they always open in the same place. Just select the anchor icon at the top of the tweak menu to save its position. We're going to use the R2 button to make Cuthbot move. On the first page of the controller sensor tweak menu, you'll find all the controller buttons. Create a wire from the R2 output port of the controller sensor using R2 or X. Extend the wire across to the mover. Connect it to the forward speed input. Now close the controller sensor tweak menu. Before we try it out, let's give the mover a bit more juice, as it was painfully slow before. We'll take care of that in the next step. Right, Let's see if we can give Cuthbot a bit more oomph. Open the Mover's Tweak menu and use X to increase the forward speed slider. "50 meters per second should be a bit more lively. We should also set the mover to work in local space. This means that the direction of the mover will move with Cuthbot. This will be super important when we add steering. This will be 50 meters per second should be a bit more lively. We should also set the mover to work in local space. This means that the direction of the mover will move with Cuthbot. This will be super important when we add steering to Cuthbot's logic. At the moment, the mover is working. This will be super important when we add... This will be... 50 meters per second should be a bit more lively. We should also set the mover to work in local space. This means that the direction of the mover will move with Cuthbot. This will be super important when we add steering to Cuthbot's logic. At the moment, the mover is working in scene space. When set up like this, the mover will go in the direction of the arrow, no matter what direction Cuthbot is facing. This would make it impossible for Cuthbot to turn. Select the button with X to switch to local space. Now, if you grab and move the arrow gizmo, the axes move with it. Make sure the arrow gizmo is pointing forward. If you've still got grid snap turned on, it'll snap exactly into place. Now when Cuthbot turns, the direction of the mover will turn too. Now close the tweak menu, then switch over to play mode and give it a go. That's a bit more like it. Go back to edit mode and rewind the scene with L3. In the next step, we'll give Cuthbot a reverse gear. That's a bit more like it. Then switch over to play mode and the direction of the mover will turn too. Now close the tweak menu, then switch over to play mode and give it a go. That's a bit more like it. Go back to edit mode and rewind the scene with L3. In the next step, we'll give Cuthbot a reverse gear.
I'm just trying to see if it works if I do all of them straight. Get out of the way.
Now that we have a forward gear, we the team space. This will be super important when we add steering to Cuthbot's logic. At the moment, the mover is working in scene space. When set up like this, the mover will go in the direction of the arrow, no matter what direction Cuthbot is facing. This would make it impossible for Cuthbot to turn. Select the button with X to switch to local space. Now, if you grab and move the arrow gizmo, you'll see the axes move with it. Make sure the arrow gizmo is pointing forward. If you've still got grid snap turned on, it'll snap exactly into place. Now when Cuthbot turns, the direction of the mover will turn too. Now close the tweak menu, then switch over to play mode and give it a go. That's a bit more like it. Go back to edit mode and rewind the scene with L3. In the next step, we'll give Cuthbot a reverse gear.
Why am I still in the same location? That's what I said. God damn, this tutorial's too hard. Nobody's even watching these streams. Disappointment I am.